Good morning, one and all. Good morning, good Wednesday morning. Welcome, one and all, to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption Incompetence. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of August in the year of our Lord 2025. Welcome. I hope you had a good night. I hope you are well set for the week. Hope you're looking forward to a productive day and remainder of the week. Welcome, one and all. This is another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. It is a privilege. Remember that. It is a privilege to be in the land of the living, and we need to give praise and thanks because without the mercies of the God, we are not going to be here. We are not going to be here. And therefore, give praise, give thanks, continuously. Give praise and give thanks. So welcome. I know we have a packed schoolyard this morning. Packed schoolyard. Every time I said on Monday, the schoolyard was so packed, I believe we were into record territory. Again, it's a repeat today. Packed schoolyard. I guess you want to hear about all that is going on in Guyana. Never a dull moment in this corrupt land that we call Guyana. We all call it our own, Guyana. Corrupt. Every day is another corruption scandal. And the common element is this: government officials, government supporters, all scandal. Scandal all the time. And you know what I'm talking about. The other one that came out with the gold smuggling and who involved. We're going to talk about it this morning, man. So share the live. We're not holding back this morning. Share the live. We are going to analyze because we saw several statements being made. And I told you all we are trained to analyze statements, and we're going to do that this morning and point out the glaring gaps and errors and the attempt to gaslight and to mislead people. I know the vice president said, "Guys, I get some very stupid people." We ain't stupid. We are not. And so therefore, share the live. We're going to go into a truncated roll call again because, ever so often you get into the studio and for some reason you have to leave. Now, once you leave the studio, the platform will take out the earlier comments and so on. So this morning when the program was scheduled at 7, you had a lot of people pour in. And then sometime down the line, I had to go out. I had to leave the studio because of a technical error. And then when I got back in, a whole set of people who came in first were removed. But as I've said, program was scheduled at 7, and some people came in at 7. I'm going to let you know. All those who came in at 7 because I have a record of those persons. We have a record, right? And the first man in, Gavin Jacobs. Jakey came in first at 7. Well, he's listed first because several persons came in at 7. Jakey, Aubrey, and that's Aubrey Pantless, Wayne. Then we have Ulrich from West Dem, John, and there's John Cummins, Ulrich Atkinson. Gibbo came in at 7. Danny came in. Felicia, Clarence, Barbara, Lucius, Peter, that's Peter Noons, Anthony Bradshaw from Peters Hall, Charlene Phillips, Carl Johnson, Joan Robertson, Derek Chapman, All Abrams, Glendis Caldera, Kenneth DeFermont, and Paulette R. They all came at 7, and then afterwards there was a floodgate open for people coming to the schoolyard. So yes, we had lots and lots of people. They're still here. Literally hundreds of people came into the schoolyard before the gates were open. And when the gates opened, well, we just crossed the 700 line. Only 23 thumbs up. We just crossed the 700 lines, and then we are going to make the announcements. We're going to go straight into it. We have a lot to tell you this morning, so I don't want to delay. The introductions and these things are important. The announcements and so, but we're going to go straight into it. So them students who come late, sorry for them. They got to catch up back on the rebound. They got to catch it on the rebound. Now, in terms of announcements, we don't have any other depth to announce, thankfully, at this stage. But just to tell you, just in case you didn't know, Assistant Commissioner Rose, the late Assistant Commissioner Rose, was buried yesterday, full military honors. I'm getting reports of what went on. Somebody had to ask me, said, what this thing was all about, because I know the police corporate propaganda unit flood the social media page with a lot of pictures of the squatter and the senior officers and all that. They flooded it, right, with all of those pictures and so on. But I understand there was this military funeral for Rose, deservingly so. And so, again, may he rest in peace. May Rose rest in peace. And, at that anniversary, today is 512 days. Let's say anniversary, but the death of Sergeant Vaughan, Alex Vaughan, 512 days today. 512 since that police sergeant was shot and killed on duty, and we can't hear any update on this matter. And these are the people who talk about transparency. Transparency. And a man on duty shot and killed since the 12th of March 2024. After the initial report, we have not heard anything further. A constable, they said, was under close arrest as supposed to be responsible for the shooting, and you know what going on. You know, could you imagine the trauma that the family is going through? Trauma, no closure, right? So yeah, 512 days since he was killed. Now, they talk. I mean, Guyana, I don't know what to say. Yesterday again, you had the death of a man, another woman. Another woman was killed yesterday, West Demerara, by her ex. She separated sometime. The story is, I read it this morning in the newspaper, that she moved on from him, working with some company, Ali Burton, some company dealing with the island gas story there somewhere in the East Bank. She moved out from she lived with some Trinidadian, and she moved back home and will visit from time to time. And yesterday morning or sometime there, the ex-husband killed her, stabbed her and killed her. And they arrested him, according to the story, on the quarantine. Springlands, obviously, he was attempting to flee, maybe to go to Suriname. He was arrested. Another woman killed. Almost every week, you see some woman killed by some, and one of the things that killed by someone who they were in a relationship with. It's an epidemic in Guyana. Let me face it. Women are becoming an endangered species, right? Ever so often, that's what's going on. And then yesterday too, well, it's been reported another, well, I know if I call it fatal accident or fatal incident because I know the police get these classifications now. But a man died on the road, a motorcyclist rode into a pig on the quarantine illness. So the pig ran across the road. The man rode into the pig, the man died, and the pig was killed instantly. That's what I say. Pig killed instantly. Dangers on the road in Guyana. Pig roaming, cows roaming, horses roaming, and then you have jackasses, the 4-foot ones and the 2-feet ones roaming on the road. That is what you have. And then sadly again, we read in the papers another woman died at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation following child's birth. In a modern society, how can these things be tolerated? Modern society, a woman died in child's birth. Child's birth is supposed to be one of the most natural things. One of the most natural things. And they talk about the health system, the opening hospital, the bringing hospital, and women still dying in child's birth. That is what you have in this place, right? Just that is what you have. So those are the sad announcements, and I want to express condolences to the relatives and friends of all those persons. The woman who was murdered yesterday, the man who died in the quarantine after riding into a pig, and the family of this woman who died in child's birth. I don't know, I'm not sure if the child survived or what, but it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. Let me move on from that. It can be very depressing when you think about all those things that are happening in Guyana. Birth anniversary. Today is the birth anniversary of Orin Major. The Major, Orin Major. Orin was a police. He joined in the squad immediately after me. My squad was 74. He was 75. I think his number was 9614. Sagi, you could tell me the squad 9614, I think, was Major, right? In course 75. So he's observing a birth anniversary today. And then we have advanced birthday greetings to a friend of mine, retired Assistant Commissioner Carl Roberts. Robbie celebrating I think it's tomorrow. It is body. So Carl used to be, for a time used to be my nemesis in on the cricket field because he was there at Presidential Guard, and where you have the Brown Cup, which is an interdepartmental cricket. Robbie used to turn out for the combination, I think it was Presidential Guard, Special Branch, and Immigration. He used to turn out. And Robbie with the left hand spin and a devastating, it was like Clive Lloyd when it come to batting. Robbie was devastating. Then we played on the same team. I was the captain of the police officers team, and Robbie was a main man in that team. So Robbie, don't forget, I remember the incident at Albion, I can talk about it now, but I remember the incident at Albion with me, you, Felix, and Jagdio. I remember the incident very well. Very well. Not to be talked about here, though. Before I bring in CC, let me congratulate the student. A student reached out to me and told me, CC, that as a result of our urging people to go and have a checkup, it said, look after yourself, go and check up, make sure you know. He said he went to have a medical checkup at the doctor recently. He said he was moved by what we were saying, and he was happy to report that the doctor gave him a clean bill of health. So yeah, it is important. Once you get to a certain age, go and get your checkup, man. Go and get your physical checkup, right? Men, you have to make sure, well, everybody, you're checking your sugar, your pressure, women and men. Then men, you got to check your prostate. You got to check your colon. Women too. You got to check, well, they get prostate, you got to check colon, mammogram. You got to do these things. And we say it's a sad state that an organization as large as the Guyana Police Force, up to now, don't have a routine arrangement. And people have commented here on this program that they work in departments, MT and all those places, where it was mandated that you have to have physical check. If you're a driver of a bus, driver of a truck, you have to have physical check. But we have policemen in a very stressful job, and there's no mandated physical check just to see how they're going and so on. So I hope with all we're talking about cabinet paper and all these things are some of the things that you have to look at to make sure that the policemen are healthy. Now, well, Desmond has asked me to give a shout out to his aunt, Agnes. But I know what the shout out is about. If it's a wedding anniversary, if it's a birth anniversary. So shout out to Aunt Agnes from Desmond. And then people like Aileen and those guys, those persons are here. Oh God, yeah, I got a victory yesterday. West Indies team defeated Pakistan. They blew away Pakistan and end up winning the ODI series. According to the reports, this is the first series victory for West Indies against Pakistan since 1991. Since 1991. First time. And it wasn't no nail biter. West Indies bowled them out for 90-something, having made 290-something, bowled them out, right? Seals, 6-18. The man was unplayable. Seals, 6-18. So those are some of the things we have to celebrate when they present themselves. They are few and far apart. So we get a victory. Now, I didn't see a single ball because I can't waste my time to watch. But I would follow on Quick Info to see what is going on. So, yes, congratulations to the West Indies team. Congratulations to Aileen. Aileen said the bowler over 92, right? So that was a massive victory. And they had another match recently, too, with South Africa and Australia. The same Australia came here and cut West Indies' tail. South Africa beat them badly in a T20 match. South Africa made 218 or something like that, and they fell short by 50-something runs. So, yeah, for the cricket fans, yes. Let me bring in CC, and then we're going to come back. CC, welcome and good morning. Hope you had a pleasant night.
Good morning. Had a pleasant night. Praise the Lord. We all in the land of the living to do God's work. A couple of things I want to say. Let me start with the cricket. Good that West Indies won, but one swallow doesn't mean that it is summer. And like you, Paul, I know it's a coincidence. I didn't see a ball. My wife, who is a cricket fan and is out of the country somewhere in Africa enjoying her thing, she normally listens and pull me in, but she wasn't there, so I didn't watch a ball. But later on, when I checked, I discovered that West Indies had a victory. Now, yesterday I went to the viewing of the late Assistant Commissioner Rose. And I want to shout out to all of the people here because it was well attended. We had Deputy Commissioner Bombery, Deputy Commissioner Chester, Commissioner Vincent, retired Commissioner Vincent Felix, Assistant Commissioner James Austin, Mark Kilbort, Superintendent Saris, and others there, and also my girls from the Lamaha Springs, Marvel and Ann. I didn't see Ingrid. I didn't see you. I show you on the live. I don't know if Yolando and the grands had you busy that you couldn't attend because normally you would be there, so your absence was noted. And then also I stray about the place a bit, after the thing, and met some Guyanese who come back home for holiday, and I met them at Cornbread Place, and then I met some at the Bam Bam Alley and at Border Market, and then I straight away went to GPO, and there was a beautiful young lady came and she said, "I'm one of your students, and you, Mrs. Slow, must continue the work." And she used some word, no retreat, no surrender. Continue doing a good work. And let me say, let me say a couple of things about us looking after ourselves. We said, and I'm going to repeat some of the things you say. Look at your medication, look at your nutrition, look at your sugar, your pressure, your cholesterol. They are all silent killers. And I remember years ago when some GDF senior officer died suddenly without no known illness, and the chief of staff, Gary Best, took command of the situation. He made sure that they were mandatory. They had to do medical checkups. And not only that, you look at the nutrition we're eating, all the oily food and the fatty food. He cut out all that they were serving at the various mess, and I think and that has ensured that the members of the GDF, were back on stream fit and thing. And then also what we need to do, we need to exercise too, Paul. A little 15, 20 minutes brisk walking 3 or 4 times a day could put us in good shape. So, like you, I want to again extend my sympathy to the late to the relatives, the friends, and the family of the late Assistant Commissioner Rose.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, thank you. Now, there's a student here, Francine Cruz. Let me give you your first and last warning. Francine Cruz, talking about we're going to kill them all. Let me put that for you people to see. I don't know who Francine Cruz is, but Francine Cruz is there saying, where is the Uncle Tom's? We are going to kill them all. Well, I'm going to remove this comment, and I'm going to tell Francis Cruz any comment that advocates violence and that type of thing will be deleted and you will be blocked. Let me understand. Me, I'm encouraging that here because perhaps you're setting us up for this program to be blocked. So before the program is blocked, I have deleted the comment. You are not blocked as yet, but you get a warning. You get a warning. Don't come on this program and advocate for violence against anyone. You understand? This is not the program for that. Perhaps there are other programs that you can go call in and talk and say that they're not on speaking out. So I have removed the comment. So for those people in ERC, on the police cybercrime unit, and them who monitoring, understand that the comment from Francine Cruz, whoever he or she is, was removed, and that post is warned that any similar comment the post will be blocked. We don't tolerate that here, right? Right. This is a time where we teach people stuff. So we're teaching you that. Now let me move on. He get to show how desperate the PPPs. I tell you all, they're desperate, This election coming up, they see the writing on the wall. They are desperate. I saw several reports, including one that was recorded, where people say, you were registered. Many of us were registered for the cash grant. You have to give them your address, your telephone number, and so on. Now they got people using that data to call you. Those of you who are registered, they're using your information now to call and to ask you who you're voting for. Somebody recorded it yesterday, one of the calls, and the person was making the call, say, that is what I got to do. They sit down somewhere in an office, provided with the database that was used to give people cash grant, and they're calling people to question them about who they're voting for and all this everything. And, I don't know if the the monitors looking into all of these things. They have some people that say are monitoring election. What are they doing? I don't know what they are doing. But that is what is going on. That is another mark, another show of desperation. Another show how desperate they are. Desperate. So, folks, be warned. I would suggest if they call you, and you answer. Well, first of all, I don't answer them. I don't know what to answer. But if by chance you answer, tell them where to get off, man. I want to call me too, Rhonda. Let me tell them how the mother make them. Let her call me. Let her tell them how they were made. Right? Let me tell them how they were made. Now, let me move on. There is a very worrying release yesterday and it says Guyanese authorities informed of international death threat against Kanu director James Singh. The thing say the law enforcement authorities in Guyana have been informed of a threat to the life of Director of Customs Anti-Narcotics James Singh. Senior law enforcement officials have confirmed to news source that information about the threat was received by the local intelligence and law enforcement community from international partners. According to the report, the threat is believed to have been made by key drug players in neighboring countries in South America and the Caribbean, and maybe as a result of a number of recent drug busts in Guyana that appears to have disrupted key drug trafficking operations. Contacted yesterday, the director of Kanu, James Singh, confirmed receiving information about the threat. He said the information was shared with the local police as well as Kanu's international partners. Singh said the threat is being taken seriously since it is not being seen as just a threat against him, but also a threat against the Drug Enforcement Unit. He said, based on reports, it appears as though the threat against him may be linked to drug traffickers in either Venezuela or Colombia. News sources understand that reports of the threat came shortly after a number of recent drug busts that were reportedly tied to cartels in both Colombia and Venezuela. And they got some other things, but I think and this thing has to be taken seriously, I agree. But let me say this, Let me say this. Any threat against any law enforcement individual or an agency must be taken very, very seriously. In this case, they talk about drugs and they talk about Colombian and Venezuelan, right? But they say that it came shortly after recent drug busts that were reportedly tied to cartel in both Colombia and Venezuela, Spanish-speaking countries. And I say that to say this. We have an influx of Spanish-speaking persons in Guyana, influx. And we have said it repeatedly that many of them, I am sure, especially those that come from Venezuela, have military background, military training. They may be Trojan horses. They come to scope and to do all of that. We recall not so long ago, a few months ago, you see, they get shallow memory. That's what we got to remind them here. There was this explosion at the East Ranville police outpost, and the police said that the investigation showed that this was perpetrated by Spanish-speaking people. So they're in the country, they throw explosive device at the station. We don't know what the motive was. Because at the baguette, if they throw it at the baguette, one can reasonably assume that they did not intend to kill people. Maybe they're sending messages. So this threat against James Singh must be seen in the light of the fact that you have so many Spanish-speaking people in Guyana. And if the threat you suspect emanates from seizure anything, you gotta watch out more. You gotta watch out more. And again, the policy with the porous borders. The government encouraging Venezuelans come in the place. Open Sepul command. They come in, they get ID card for go vote because they say they had parents who are Guyanese, all kind of thing for a few votes. But then here it is now, a threat against one of your leading law enforcement officers. Y'all go along. Go along. People say go along. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for him to have his say on this. CC, threat against James Singh.
Well, not surprising, And then the large influx of Spanish-speaking persons. I remember reading the strategic management that Captain Simmons had presented in 2011, and they talk about threat analysis. And here's one what they say. Said there may be implications of the nature and type of criminality in Guyana as a result of an increase in the population and or, I hear this part, an influence of non-Guyanese national. Here's what I say in the chat, that an increase in non-Guyanese national. Anyway, turn is Spanish speaking. The private security forces full up with Spanish speaking people. I don't know if they're looking at the labor law or the immigration law, but we got to take the threat, as you mentioned, Paul, seriously when threats are being made, especially to law enforcement agency, be they canoe or otherwise. You got to look at the threat. And I say, I'm not surprised because canoe been doing a little work. I don't know, no major thing. They didn't discover the 4.4 tons of cocaine. I can't remember when last I get a major bus, but they're doing these small scale seizure on the Essequibo and other places. But no major thing here. I ain't hear they doing anything on the border. I ain't hear they intercepting them kind of thing there. But apparently what they're doing coming to the attention of the suppliers. So I'm not surprised that there are threats to the head and threats to others in relation to the drug trafficking. So I'm not surprised. But as we said, you have to take the threats very seriously and ask what happened to the intelligence. What is happening to the special branch? What has happened to, I think it's NISA, the one NISA. What happened to them? There's no intelligence coming through for them. Let's see what will happen. But I won't be surprised if there are many more threats and other serious implications.
Yeah. I hope they take the necessary measures. But some people are saying, this release and this information being revealed at this time when we have these allegations, what are the bombshell allegations about corruption involving so many people. We're gonna deal with that this morning. When the meanwhile, share the live. Let me before I let me just intro this part of it. I'm not gonna play it. I just want to intro, and then we're gonna go into the next subject. Where is the intro? I gotta organize this thing a little bit better, so I can give you the intro, and then we're gonna move on. Hold on. The intro.
Every 5 years.
Hold on. I got an intro that I wanted to play, man. Now when I saw the thing this morning, here it is. Here, just the intro.
And this country got some really stupid people, really.
Yeah, this country, let me play the intro again, just the first part.
And this country got some really stupid people, really.
You got some really stupid people, really. That's what Jack you say. Well, that is a good way to segue into this next thing. I saw yesterday the Foreign Affairs Minister, Todd, came out with a statement, and he said basically that Azzuddin Mohammed, the Mohammeds, were frequenting the Venezuelan embassy in Ischia. There's a place I know, at least I know the outside very well, because some of you may recall, it was last year, was it? We, Mr. Conway, myself, and some others were picketing that place because of the Venezuelans' claim to a security. We used to go there at least 2-3 times a week, and we used to picket. So I understand this place. I know the outside geography of this place. So the minister Tad came out to say that they got information. I'm going to read the whole nonsense that they wrote. Of course, is the what they call DPI, Department of Public Information releases thing, that Azzuddin Mohammed and his father were frequenting. Let me read a part. That's a part. It's we found out. This is a quotation from UTAD. We found out that the Mohammeds have been frequently visiting the Venezuelan embassy here in Georgetown. That's the part I want to read. They found out that the Mohammeds have been frequently visiting the Venezuelan embassy here in Georgetown. And the first thing I want to ask, where is the evidence? Where is the evidence of this frequent visit by the Mohammeds to the Venezuelan embassy here in Georgetown? I played that part with Jack Dio telling you guys, I got some real stupid people, so you could understand how they think about us. So you come with a statement like that, no evidence. You want to tell me that Azzuddin Mohammed, y'all love to say who is sanctioned, right? He is sanctioned. That's a fact. He is a political person now. They call him politically exposed. He's a presidential candidate now. You want to tell me Azzuddin Mohammed or the Mohammeds have been frequently visiting the Venezuelan embassy, and y'all ain't got no photograph, you ain't got no video recording for support this trash that UTAD come to talk about? You want to tell me again, this is a man who giving y'all nightmares. Remember the president wake up a couple morning ago and say he had a vision, a nightmare, and he gonna promote. Right now, I think the thing past 2,500 police and rolling who get promoted, right? And you are not monitoring Azzuddin Mohammed to see when he going into the embassy, to see when he come out, how long it took in the embassy and all of that. You want to tell me, UTAD, that you believe that we're so stupid? Huh? You want to tell me that you believe that we are that stupid? And if it is, you're claiming that he went there to make application to get visa, right? What happened? How was this application made? If this ambassador that you said could have, you confirm, why did you not ask the ambassador for a copy of the application these people made for this visa? Oh, they're going to say privacy? Well, the same yardstick they used to tell you the information the man been there often, they could have used to say, well, hey, this is what the visa application looks like. This is what it looked like. So let me understand. I don't say we stupid, right? Let me, but as I've said it before, bringing Mr. Conway, now that we have exposed them, Tad, for this nonsense that you come and tell people, don't be surprised if all of a sudden they find some application now, and they get some makeup thing, because with AI and all them Photoshop, you're going to hear something that he been there. They said drunk in animal with cuts of straw, yes, Harold. But and there, what is part of the Garland thing to me? What Garland to me? Look who they sent for make such a stupid statement. UTAD. He come out with such a statement. He's supposed to be the foreign affairs minister. That he's supposed to be, because we know he's running the foreign ministry. Because for the first time, they got a foreign affairs minister, they got foreign secretary. I don't recall them having that before. Robert Prasad is the foreign secretary. So you want to know what is Robert Prasad's role as the foreign secretary. But for you to come out here, another black man and push out to make such a statement where people see how stupid it is. This is such an asinine statement. You have a major, the man will give the main headache in the political realm. Azzuddin Mohammed giving you the most headache. And this man visiting the Venezuelan embassy frequently. That is what you're saying, frequently. And you ain't get no photographic or other evidence to support this contention this man visiting them frequently? And then y'all get Pillory Joe, another jackass who go last night and telling people that Azadin Mohammed can go out in a box or in yellow jumpsuit. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you wish for. You say you can go out in a box. Normally when people tell people they go into the box, they mean they're going out dead. But I see that when Stabrook News Brackley, to clarify the statement, he said, well, you know, some African leaders, when they want to be smuggled out, they are smuggled out in a box. That is what he means. Tell that to the Marines. Pillory Joe, tell that to the Marines. But I say, be careful what you wish for. Because I see that statement as a threat. You can go out in a box. The common man, I guess that is why Stabrook News had to ask a clarification. Because when you tell a man he's going out in a box, it means he's a dead man you're talking about. It means he's a dead man. And when you talk about orange jumpsuit too, be careful. Be careful. Because I believe it's because of the orange jumpsuit, the PPP members of parliament, and many of them are not traveling to the US at this time for say campaigning. They are not. PPP man, Jack, your friend, it is alleged in the thing. You're not coming to no denial, so it must be true. Visited, Bobby Ramrupa talking about pulled in by the feds at one of the airports and questioned extensively. Some people allege that he wasn't just pulled in, he was cautioned. But let me tell you all this from a law enforcement perspective. Somebody saying no song. Neil, check your system. From a law enforcement perspective, once you are cautioned in the US, it means that you are under arrest. Once you are cautioned, in other words, you are Mirandized. That is what they say. They read you your Miranda rights. And let me explain before I bring in Mr. Conway. In Guyana, we talk about caution and the judge's rule. So when you arrest a man, I can tell you you're not obliged to say anything unless anything you say will be taken down. Unless you wish to do so, anything you say will be taken down and given evidence against you. That is under the judge's rule, the caution before charge. Then you're arresting a man. America, when they Mirandize you, it goes to another level. It goes to another level. They tell you further of your rights to retain an attorney. And if you can't afford one will be provided. So they go further than this normal judge's rule that we speak about. So yes, so you thought you got to wheel and come again, man. Again, you get Azadin Mohammed, the man that giving you all the most headache, the Win party giving you the most headache. You claiming that this man frequenting the Venezuelan embassy. In other words, you want to say he has some connection, they've been saying, with Maduro, the dictator in Venezuela, who the US recently offered $50 million US dollars for capture. And you want to tell me this man going into this embassy frequently. Why is frequently? At least it's not once. And you get evidence, photographic, video evidence, and all these things against this man. Look, y'all get out here. Tell that to the Marines. And then this jackass one, Joseph Hamilton, coming out and telling people about leave in a box. Y'all be careful what y'all trying to instigate, because notwithstanding the walk back, and you telling Stabrook News that you mean when the African leaders, you name one single African leader who was smuggled out of this country in a box. Name. As you come up and tell African leaders are smuggled out of the country in a box. Name one. Name one. Give an example. But that is what they do. That is what they do. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. CC, you're this thing with you, Tad, man. Go ahead, my brother.
I'm not surprised statement of you, Tad, because he's not no SS Ramphal, He's not no Rashley Jackson. He's not no Fred Wills and others. So he's gonna make wild statements. And when we're looking at the Sediment frequenting the Venezuelan embassy, let's check him. They're checking the phone, they're checking all the movements. And I'm told that they're using Pegasus on him, that Israeli spy equipment that I understand they bought for $50 million, that they are checking on him. Just like how when we were picketing ball, you remember? The special branch used to come and check us. They used to take photographs and all kind of thing there, and we used to protest. We had some people join us to the protest, and the special branch come along and check the photograph and see how much was there, as the case may be. And when person talk about them being Mirandarized, I study a bit of American law. I did a program in FA called Legal Issues for Commander. Legal Issues for Commander. And they don't Mirandarize you unless they have probable cause. In Guyana, we do with a reasonable suspicion. But American is probable cause. And when they get probable cause, then is when it's caution you or Mirandarize you. But coming back to you, Todd, I didn't expect anything else from him. And then we have our ambassador in Caracas. What is he doing? What is he doing there? It's quiet diplomacy. We ain't hearing nothing but apart from making a little political statement that he's supporting supporting President Ifan Ali. So they gotta do far better, and I don't know if special branch is still special because I got a triple jumper there. A man with no real experience and thing there, and he's the head of special branch. So I think they could, if you get information, perhaps it's misleading information. I won't doubt that they're misleading the the foreign affairs minister so that he can use misleading statement or or just talking while about the place there. They need to come up with proper evidence. Let's get the evidence there. The technology there. They get the technology. Use the technology. Just like how Paul we showed that the president, when he was president, was using the armored vehicle that the Mohammeds give him. It had the presidential standard on it there. So look out for more in this silly season.
Yeah, look out for more. Look out for more. Ivor, I'm reading your comment and you say this is the first election season. We know PPP operatives. Oh yeah, I get you just now. They're not in Queen's campaign. You know what? You wonder why? That is the same jumpsuit what Pillory Joe talking about. The same jumpsuit that they're talking about, right? So yeah, the branch. Somebody said the branch. Well, you want to tell me, you get the other special branch from the Rhine. The following Brutus confront the trailing Brutus, former Assistant Commissioner Brutus, special branch, the head himself trailing Brutus. And you want to tell me you get eyes on Azzuddin Mohammed, a major headache to the PPP government? Man, look, you thought wheel and come again, yeah? Wheel. You sound stupid. And they put black people to make these type of foolish statements so that you can see. Because remember Jagdio, you remember Jagdio, sir? I tell you, I remember when Jagdio, you got to always remember what the vice president Jagdio said. Don't forget that. Don't forget what he said.
And this country got some really stupid people, really.
We got some stupid people, but us here on this platform, we are that. We are that, right? We are not that, right? So let me move on. Y'all share the live. Let me share the live. Share the live. I'm going to talk now about this bombshell allegation by what the man named Junior Bosch. Azim Bosch, called Junior, aka Junior Bosch. Now, this thing is so, well, it's such a bombshell. Blow up the whole place, man. The man alleging allegation, the man making allegation about corruption at the highest level. When I said the highest level, he called the president of Guyana, Ifan Ali, in the corruption scheme. And let me give you all a synopsis. The video, by now I suspect it, they're online circulating. The video is a long video, and we can't play it in the future. Perhaps we're going to get snippets to play. But I got to get somebody to help me with the technology to play some important aspects. But what I did, I went through it, and I made some notes about what the man is alleging. This is what is being alleged, right? The man said that he was an agent for Thomas Jagmohan. Now, Thomas Jagmohan is a big gold dealer. And people say other things. This is the same man, if you recall, who donated 10 vehicles to the Guyana Police Force sometime back, to Essequibo Region 2 Police. Thomas Jagmohan, big gold dealer, a supporter of the ruling party. Right? So the man said that he was an agent for Thomas Jagmohan, meaning that he bought gold for Thomas Jagmohan. He bought gold and the gold was sold. He said Thomas Jagmohan financed him, giving him money with the understanding that all the gold that he bought will be sold to Thomas Jagmohan. Come here, share the life, the thing I get sweet. So he was an agent. He claimed that a lot of the gold are gold from the Venezuelan Maduro government. He claims or he alleges that the Venezuelan gold is brought from Venezuela to Boa Vista in Brazil by generals close to Maduro. When they said general, we talk about army officer general. Close to Maduro, they will bring it. He said the Venezuelan gold is 99.99%. And therefore, once they buy the Venezuelan gold, the gold is then smuggled into Guyana. Call the name. One of the names he called as part of this thing is some Parag. He said, let me tell Andre. He said Andre Parag is one of the people he employed to get into this arrangement. They're smuggling the gold. Once they buy the gold in US dollars in Brazil, it is smuggled into Guyana. It is then taken, depending on the time of the day, the gold might be taken to Thomas Jagmohan's office in Letem and then transported to Georgetown via the regular flights. Yeah, Roderick. I'm breaking it down. I want you all to see the tape for yourself. He goes on to say, right, well, once the gold comes to Guyana, then he is giving instructions to dilute the gold because everybody knows 99.9% gold, 99.999 is Venezuelan gold. So part of his task was to dilute the gold, break it down. In other words, he said, you can't carry it to them 99.99 because they don't know it's Venezuelan gold. So you mix it with Guyana gold and you lower the percentage of purity. That is what is being alleged. Let me consult my notes, right? Let me consult the notes. Now, he says further, the gold is taken to the main office, Jagmohan's main office. He said it's next to the American embassy in Georgetown. So the gold is taken to Jagmohan's office, which is located next to the American embassy in Georgetown. And he says some of the gold will go to another office in the Silver Street, Kitty. Some of the gold, right? He said the gold, as I said, purchased by Andrea Parag, who he says is a cousin of Sonia Parag. Sonia Parag is the current minister of local government. She was minister of public service sometime back. But now she's minister of local government. He said Andrea Parag, the man who buys the gold on behalf of Thomas Jagmohan, is a cousin of Sonia Parag. He said what happens then, that they would then get local miners to falsify receipts. To give the impression that this gold was bought in Guyana from miners. Right? That is what he says. Right? Then he said that he is financed by the gold smuggler. Right? Then he said he's not sure how much the president and the vice president know about the thing. That's what the man said. He's not sure how much the president and the vice president know about the smuggling operation. Right? He said he was targeted by the government and Soku. Because he said they want to close down the business, they're targeting me and so on. Right? Then he even made a reference to the matter where, you remember some time ago it was in the news, a Brazilian woman was held in Letem with gold and cash. Wonder what is the position with that matter. I remember it was in the media, some Brazilian woman held it, and we commented on it because they said a quantity of gold. We said we don't have no quantity of gold and a quantity of cash. They got to weigh and tell us exactly what is the weight right down to the right down to the grain. Some pound, ounces, pennyweight, right down to the grain. You got to tell me. That's how I learned policing work. So we don't know what happened to the matter, right? He said when they asked you about Tamish, the interviewer asked you about Tamish Jagman's involvement in drugs. He said, well, he didn't know about Tamish Jagman being involved in drugs, but he said he had linked to some big drug dealer. That is what the man said, right? He said the Venezuelan generals came to Guyana once and made contact with Jagman. Bombshell, share the life, bombshell. As I say, you got to go and look at it. Then he talked about some promissory note that he got between he and Jagman, promising to pay back money and all of that, right? And he said that he put the smuggling team, the team that buys the gold from the Venezuelan generals and smuggles it into Guyana. He said he put together that team. That is what Junior Bosch said. He put the team together. Then he said he was warned many times to be careful because Sona, this is the next man coming to the picture now. Sona, right? Sona is Satnarayan Sahadio, aka Sona, of Val's Construction. So he and Sona had a good relationship, and the thing got bitter because he claims that Sona owe him money. And when he started to make demand for the money, the thing got the relationship got sour to the point where he sued Sona because Sona he claimed owed $460 million. 460 million Guyana dollars took him to court. I saw, doing research where Justice Sandil Kisoon, I think it was, awarded Junior Bosch $460 million as money is being owed to him by this same Sona. So the man's story gets some truth in it. Now let me go further, right? He said, then he goes on to say, right, well, he was warned many times to be careful about Sona. Because as a man told me this morning, if you owe a man $460 million and the person who is owed take him with a heart attack and pass out, then you're smiling, right? Or you get into some fatal accident or incident, then you're smiling. So he was warned, and therefore he is conveying the impression, that is Junior Bosch, that is why he made the state, so that in case anything happens to him, people will know who might be responsible. All right, let me go on. He said that Sona, what is the right name? Let me tell you the right name again. Satnarayan Sahadio, named Sona, is a close friend of the President Irfan Ali. That is what Junior Bosch said in the tape. That Satnarayan Sahadio, aka Sona, is a close friend of the president. And I want you all to listen to this thing yourself. Because he is saying that because of this close friendship, this man gets certain privileges and so on. He said that, and Sona has a security company. Sona has, in addition to being in construction, in addition to being as other thing, he get a security company as well. And then this man is saying, Junior Bosch is saying, during the election, the last election, that contentious election, he loaned 2 of his bulletproof vehicles to the PPP. And I think one of those vehicles was used to transport the chairman of the Elections Commission, Madam Claudette Singh. That is what the man is saying. That is what the man is saying. Isn't that a conflict and all this type of thing? That is what he's saying, right? And I'm saying, let me go on further before I think, let me give a synopsis and then I can do some analysis, right? He goes on to, he loaned 2 bulletproof vehicles to move Claudette Singh from one location to the other. He said after the election, hear this, he says after the elections and after the PPP was declared as the winner of the election by Claudette Singh, right? He said that Sona told him, everything's set now. That is what Sona, he said, everything's set, right? And then he said the president promised him contracts. They said and then he go on, the allegation now is that the president now is in partnership with Sona. That is the allegation. Those are allegations out there. He said they're in partnership, right? And he said that the man said, that is what Junior Bosch is saying, that Sona told him that the president promised to make him bigger than BK. Well, for BK Construction was one of the biggest companies in Guyana. I don't know if it still is. When it comes to sea defense and all, say Brian Tiwari's company, BK, was the biggest. Junior Bash is saying that Sana told him that the president promised to make him make him bigger than BK. And then he said that Sana would have inside information about contracts and asked to give drawbacks to political people. Comrade Rail Bombshell. He said Sana would have, Sana claimed to have inside information on contracts and that he had to give drawbacks to political people. Then he said the president, unless this allegation, not me, is what this man said in the tape, president gets 5%, which is collected by the president's mother. That is what they, look, folks, y'all must, students, this is your homework. Find this tape and listen to it. This is the most devastating, damning allegations ever made. Ever made. The man said that the president had to get 5%. And the money, 5%, is delivered to the president's mother. I can read the statement because he come back and he said some other things. He denied that. So forgive balance, I can deal with that too. Right? He says the drawback given to ministers, he said a drawback is given to Minister Vikram Bharat, who would facilitate contracts for him in the interior locations as a drawback. That is what Junior Bash is saying, that Sana told him that Minister Bharat would give him contracts and he had to give drawbacks to minister thing. Then he talked about number 1 and number 2. And then he said number 1 is the president, number 2 is the vice president. Number 1 and number 2. Well, I know back in the day, I don't know if it's still now, when the children, you teach them, when they want to go to ease their bowels or to have a bowel movement, they got said they want the number 2. They want the number 2. In other words, they want the shit. They want the number 2. So when they said number 2 is the vice president, my mind being what it is, I thinking about back in the small day when a child said, Mommy, I want the number 2. Daddy, I want the number 2. That is what it is. He says, Sana, owe them a lot of money and stop paying me. This is where they fall out. They'll fall out among friends, fall out among thieves, fall out among them type of people. He said, the man owe you a lot of money, and the man stopped paying me. And when he approached the man for the money, he said, this is what Junior Bash said, that Sana told him that the president Irfanali tells Sana to tell you, don't pay no more money, get enough. All right, this thing, COI alone ain't gonna deal with this thing. You need an international investigation, an investigation with reputable people. The man said that when he taking Sana for the money, Sana told him that the president said, don't pay no money, you get enough. And went on to further said, that's what the allegation is, that if he molests you too much, we can lose GRA and all them people money. That is what is being said. Bucket, then a bucket clad in his black tank load, a shit we talking about it, right? He said at the time, so indebted him for $460 million. He took him to court to recover the money. I read this morning a decision by the judge where Sana was ordered to pay this man this $460 million. And as somebody tell me, only this morning somebody told me that if a man owe you $460 million and the man fall along with a heart attack or the man get into some fatal incident or fatal accident, then you're smiling. Because I guess you ain't got to pay any longer. Into Bianiba, make Kwashiba take notice. It ain't done there. He says, he goes on to say, he was asked by the interviewer, are you prepared to tell are you telling me to the court? The man said, yes, I'm prepared to tell a judge all the time, telling you. All. He said, I'm prepared to go to court and to tell the judge all of this about the corruption at the all levels and so on. And then the man said another revealing thing. The man said they bought some plot of land, some tree plot. I'm not familiar with all the thing, but closed area where maybe you can walk and plots available through the relevant agency, where is the gold board, not gold board, where is it, GGMC or whatever. He said, you got to get a letter, allow permitting you to work. The man said he paid $2 million for, you get 3 letters for 3 plots, $2 million each. You have to pay to get the letter. $2 million each. He said, and then he said Jackman was working to have the Mohammeds closed down because he was very envious of the Mohammeds. That is what is being said. Thomas Jackman was working to have the Mohammeds closed down because he said he was very envious of the young Mohammed. Talk about all the car he buying and he living this ostentatious lifestyle and he's showing off. That is what the man is said, right? And then he asked him, at which point do you want me to air this interview? Right? And then he said, well, if I die, air the interview. And as long as I'm alive, I will tell you when to air the interview. And then, of course, he talked about the president and son are partners in the business. And before I bring in Mr. Conway, let me tell you some of the names that were called. Some of the names said the president and his mother, they were called. Minister Vikram Bharat, Thomas Jagmohan, Satnarayan Sahadyoka of Val Construction, Sona. He called Prem Narayan, Andrea Parag, Angela Parag, and a Dr. Bob. Some of the names that he called. Some of the names that he called. And you want to tell me that they're going to sit back because, well, I'm going to read, well, let me give Mr. Conway a little button, and I'm going to read the statement that was sent out yesterday by the same Junior Bosch. But let me bring in CC for him to have a piece. CC, let me hear you on this bombshell allegation that was made. Go ahead.
Well, I heard it and I read it, and it's broader than some people might think. They were birds of a feather, they flock together. And the Bible says, show me your company, and I tell you who you are. Friends fall out, as we say. And when I heard allegations, and then person say I didn't say so, and I lie, and I can we'll come to that. But there are some other interesting things that happen. Talk about the Silver Street, where a place burned down. Who won it? Fire mysteriously to the building. Fire mysteriously set to the building. We heard about generals coming in, and so many things there, so many revelations revealing. And then people are going to say, retract the statement also. But there are a lot of players involved in this scenario, plenty players, and I hope they can come forward. But then again, this call for a international investigation is between 3 countries: Venezuela, Brazil, Guyana, and we've been hearing all along the line about gold smuggling, about the Venezuelan gold, and then you melt it down to 90 something percent, no, 99%, so as to people know really this is not Venezuelan gold. Things have been happening, things been in the making a long time now, and well, now it's been revealed, and then people say they're changing them out. Maybe they were brief, they're changing them out, but it's friends falling out. And then there's an issue where people saying allegations are is Hindu against Muslim, Muslim against Hindu. They said the number one man is a Muslim, and then number two man is a Hindu. Certain things happening, Muslim against Hindu. Let's continue to dissect, Paul.
Yeah, so let me as I've said, a lot of things were said, A lot of allegations. People asking who's Dr. Bob. They say he was responsible for the closed area. I don't know who the person is, right? And then, as was to be expected, Junior Bush made a press release, or let me put it more politically correctly, a press release was made on behalf of Junior Bush. And hear what it says. Yeah, share the life, man. Share. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Share the life. Share the life. People want to hear the story. And as I've said, some people have been asking me to. I can't play the tape on this program. It's a long tape, and I don't know. This platform gives you a certain amount of a length of tape to play, and that this tape far exceeds that length. But it's there. You can get it on social. You can get it on WhatsApp. You can get it other places. It's there. So you can get it. I want you to listen it yourself. I just gave a synopsis. I want you to listen to these allegations yourself and form your own opinion based on the allegations that I'm here. And I'm emphasizing they are allegations. They are allegations. And allegations, when I remember the training, allegations should be investigated. Because people can come and make all type of outlandish allegations. But in any orderly and proper society, the allegations were going to be properly investigated. For example, the allegations against the vice president that he takes $500,000 from Chinese businessmen to facilitate contracts and so on. That should have been investigated. It's an allegation against the vice president. The vice president should have wanted an investigation if he's innocent to clear his name. But all this time, no investigation. And of course, the international community has found this investigative reporter, Isabella Young, to be credible. She got a global award sometime last week, it was, for the same investigative reporting. But no investigation was done in respect to the allegation that was revealed by Vice News. Similarly, we are saying that in this matter, all the parties are deemed innocent, and therefore a proper investigation should be done, not by Soku, who yesterday people make an allegation about the involvement of Soku in criminal activities and so on, not by them. We want to make sure that it's a credible investigation. The vice president, I got a tape to play, I'll show you your time today, lambasting the police for the double day Adriana Young murder. Now, election time, he called up police, did a poor job and all them things. I'll play all them things for y'all to see. And y'all really want to tell me that these people should be allowed to go back into office? Hear what the release said. Hear what the release. And this is a release from Azim, by the name Azim Bash, aka Junior Bash. He says here, my attention has been drawn to the release of a video interview in which I participated with Travis Chase. This interview was conducted on the 25th of March 2025 when my life was in danger as a result of credible checks I received on my life from Satnarayan Sahadev and his associates. Satnarayan Sahadev is also known as Sana. I provided the interview to Travis Chase as a security measure that in the event that anything happened to me, the interview would be released after the incident. I signed a non-disclosure agreement with Travis Chase that the interview could only be released in the event of that anything happened to me or on my instructions. I never gave Travis Chase any permission to release the video. During the course of the interview, I made certain references to the president's mother or president's mother's involvement in certain transactions. The information which I provided in the interview in relation to the involvement of the president's mother was provided to me by Satnarayan Sahadev. Satnarayan Sahadev is and was indebted to me for in excess of $800 million. He was refusing to pay me and said his political connections told him that he should not pay me any. He should not pay me any. Well, let's just say, should not pay me any. They would deal with me. During the month of June 2025, I apologized personally to President Ali about the information I had mentioned about his mother in the interview. I indicated to the president that Satnam Sadio had provided me with that information. I can confirm that the accuracy of the I can confirm that the accuracy of the information I provided in the interview with Travis Chase about the president's mother is false, and consequently, I withdraw the statement. I sincerely apologize to the president's mother. I personally never gave, at any time, let me read it back. I personally never gave the president's mother any money or met with her on any business transaction. At the time of the interview, I was in a serious state of mind, with threats being made to my business and personal safety, and as such made this interview with the intention of only having it released if I was killed or threats were materialized, as mentioned in the leaked interview. In the interview, I was asked if the president and the vice president were involved, which I denied because it is truthful that I had no knowledge of their involvement. I have met with my lawyers to begin legal proceedings against the leaked video, of which the journalist Travis Chase did sign an NDA, and any other person who perpetrate this unfounded statement made by me. Nonsense, say. All right, let me do the statement analysis. Let me go to the statement analysis mode. Earlier we give a hypnosis. That's the right word? Yeah, a hypnosis of the interview. Right now we gonna. Junior Bosch came out with a statement. He is claiming. He states that the interview was conducted on the 25th of March, 2025. This interview was aired for the first time on social media by Melly Mel 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago would have been the 11th? Yeah. Would have been the 11th of August. This man wants us to believe that he went to the president in June and he apologized to the president for naming his mother as being part of this whole thing. Again, walk it back. Interview done on the 25th of March, 2025. Released on or around the 11th of August. And he's claiming that he apologized to the president's mother on the 25th of June, which raises a lot of questions. He did the interview with Travis Chase. Was he given a copy of the interview? Because I would expect that if you give an interview of regards to the fact that you felt threatened and you decide you're going to give an interview as security, that you want to keep a copy somewhere. Yeah, the interview of Travis Chase, you would have had this arrangement, you can keep it. Because it says that in the tape. I want y'all to look at the tape. Because at the end of the tape, Travis asks you, what next with this thing? When should I release it? And it's true, he said, if I die, release it. Once I'm alive, I will tell you when to release it. That's what he told us. So I said, all right. But was he given a copy? Was he given a copy? Was Junior Bosch given a copy? Because I would expect, again, that if he did the interview, that he would demand a copy to hold on to this interview. So what it is, how he come to apologize on the 20 in June, that is baffling me. How he come to apologize in June when this thing was not public then? This thing wasn't public, Mr. Bosch, Azim Bosch. So how come you apologize in June to the president? And I noted there too, before I forget, I noted there, in the man's statement, he's retracting, but he can't retract. Azim Bosch, we big, but we are stupid. We burn at night, but not last night. You never said that you gave the president's mother anything. You never said that you had any business transaction with the president's mother. You never said that. So what are you apologizing for? You said that Sonna tell you that you never gave the president's mother money. She collecting the 5%. And at one stage, the money piled up to 35 million and she was behind you. She running you down for the money, and therefore you have to get the intervention of people to try to get a meeting. You said, so why are you apologizing when the statement that you make or you made in relation to the president's mother was something somebody tell you? Somebody told you this. So were you apologizing on behalf of the person who told you? Clear that up, Mr. Bash, clear that up. Because you said clearly, emphatically, that you had no dealings with the president's mother. But you're claiming that Satnarayan Sahadio, known as Sona, told you, it's a hearsay story, that he had to pay the president's mother this morning. So what are you apologizing to the president for? Are you apologizing on behalf of the of Sadio, Sona? Or you apologizing for something somebody else tell you? What nonsenseness is that, man? I use the word nonsenseness. What nonsenseness is that? Because let me understand this thing clearly. The fact that Junior Bash is saying that Sadio Sona told him, that is there say that is not evidence in no court of law. That can't hold up in no court of law. So what Sona have to say so himself. That is there say that is not evidence to implicate the president's mother in anything. So why was there a need for you to apologize? Tell me that. Tell me that. Right? And I noted too, oh man, I tell you I have a statement analysis. The man went in at pains to point out that here we said, I personally never gave the president's mother any money or met with her on any business transactions. He never met with her. So why are you apologizing? Why are you apologizing? And I note in this press release, while he's apologizing, some pseudo apology for the statement that Sona made about the president's wife, he made statement about Vikram Bharat. He made statement about President Ali. He made statement about Tamis Jagmohan. He made statement about Prem Narayan. He made statement about Angela Parag, Dr. Bob. He ain't apologizing for that. No, at least not in this release. He is not apologizing for that. Yes, rather, as I said on a social media post, mouth open, story jump out. He mouth open and the story jump out. This is all sort of BS. This is undiluted BS we talking about here, right? You apologized to the president in June for recording you did in March, which was released in August. And you're blaming, I am batting for Travis, I am batting for nobody. But then if you were given a copy of the tape, you wanted to suggest that it's Travis leaked the tape. What evidence you have of that? What evidence you have? And let me play this one. Let me play this one for y'all. See what's going on, man. Listen to this carefully, students. Listen, take your notes. Share the live, man. Share the live. Take the notes.
It's 3 person have it. Mommy doesn't want to give it to me because he implicated in it. This is why he didn't want to send it to me. I spoke to Junior Bash and I could send it if you think it's right. Let me get the conversation and send it like when we spoke to Junior Bash. And Junior Bash gave Mommy the go ahead to give me the video. Let me send it and show you. Hold on. Because me want to feel a lion. Hold on. So when they call me last night, tell me if it is not Junior. You could see. I can't make up a call. Hold on. How is going to call? Was a 3-way? Mohammed. Hold on. It was last night. The number wouldn't be stored. So hold on.
Can you
Good.
tell me,
Look at that. Hey.
apart from
Yesterday
the
at 8:18, 660 79 11.
yeah, because he implicated his own self, according to what we saying is that Junior actually even implicated his own self.
Okay,
So
good. But Junior
how
Bass said go ahead. But Junior Bass said go ahead. Because Junior Bass tell us go ahead and let me release it. Because Muhammad was saying that it done out here telling he let he tell because like he called Junior for make sure that he gave you the go ahead for I release it. Right? So he talk up to Junior and he tell Junior, he said, man, let her do it because it already
Yeah. According to this, what we just heard, that was the voice of Melly Mel. Right? Atwell called Melissa Atwell called Melly Mel. That is our voice. And she's saying, as we are there just now, that Junior Bash gave our permission to release the video. Come on, there's more in the matter than the pistol. There is more in the matter and in the pistol. So Junior Bash now is saying that I have met with my lawyers to begin legal proceedings against the leaked video of which the journalist Travis Chase did sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, and any other person who perpetrate this unfounded statement made by me. The man said it's an unfounded statement made by me involving the president, involving Bikram Bharat. Well, he didn't apologize to them. He did not apologize to them. And I noted too, before I bring in Mr. Conway, following this bombshell release, it's only Junior Bash made a statement, right? This statement he made. Thomas Jackman came in out the same night, early 1:30 in the morning, right? He beaten Zanduli. Because Zanduli was 5 o'clock in the morning when 2 women police come check in. And before I could have put on the clothes, all the iron exposed. Zanduli, 5 o'clock in the morning. Thomas Jackman came out, I think, around 1:30 the morning after this release. And he denied. He denied any involvement in this gold smuggling, what they talk about. Yesterday, right, Sona came out. That is this man, Satnarayan Sadio, came out and he too denied. I noted up to now, there's no denial from the president. There's no denial from Vikram Bharat. There's no denial from Prem Narayan. There's no denial from Andrea Parag. There's no denial from Angela Parag. There's no denial from Dr. Bob. I wonder why. It is about 48 hours or so, more than 36 hours since this thing. Thomas Jackman came out and he denied, said he had involved in this thing. Well, I don't expect, the only body who has given that type of confession if they involved in criminality is a king. He can get a statement say he take $8.5 million from Amir Ahmad. That's why you're going to admit. So then admit. And that is even more reason why we need a proper investigation. Which we don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Look, it's a cesspool of corruption. When you hear, first we had the vice president with Vice News. Allegation he involved in corruption. No investigation. And this is a man, tomorrow you'll see he'll come there at 2 o'clock on this so-called press conference and he can abuse everybody. You know all who corrupt. You know all who is criminal. You know all of them. Now you have an allegation against the president of the country. The allegation against the president of the country about kickbacks and bribes for things, right? Allegations against the minister, Vikram Bharat. And wait, you want to tell me that this doesn't require a proper investigation? And let me give them the benefit. Let me say they're innocent. And if they are innocent, that is even more reason that they should demand a proper investigation to clear their names. They should demand a proper investigation to clear their name. But Jack just sit down the years now since this allegation with the Sugate and no investigation. And y'all really seriously want to tell me that these people should be going back into office? It reminds me when I listen to this tape and I read what's going on, it reminds me of the statement by GHK Lal. And let me read. He said, what we have today is not a government, but a gang of gangsters. For the most part, what Guyanese have for leaders today are nothing but out-of-control lunatics, pathological liars, unreconstructed racists, and political sadists. That is what, and when you have allegations like these being made about the corruption, I mean, enough of us suspect corruption. But you got a man who was involved. The man admitted that he set up the gold smuggling thing. He said he recruited Andrea Parag and others to smuggle the gold, to go and buy the gold for us from the Venezuelan generals in Brazil, Boavista, to smuggle it into Guyana, to have it kept at Thomas Jackman's office in Lethem, depending on the time it comes over, and to smuggle it down to town. The man admit that. The man admit to being a part of the process to dilute the gold from 99.99% to something lower. because 99.99% is a giveaway. It's a Venezuelan. The man admitted to all of that. And you really and truly want to tell me that this thing, first of all, in any proper country governed by the rule of law, those persons are called government ministers would have been asked to step aside to facilitate a proper investigation. They would have been asked to step aside. The president would have got to step aside. Vikram Bharat would have had to step aside. But it's Guyana, a lawless country. And again, as G.H. Killal said, what we have today is not a government, but a gang of gangsters. For the most part, what Guyanese have for leaders today are nothing more but out of control lunatics, pathological liars, unreconstructed racists, and political sadists. That is what the man said. That is what he said. And folks, you really and seriously want to tell me that come September 1st, less than 3 weeks ago, you are going to say that these people should go back into office to continue to thief, to continue to smuggle gold, to continue to be involved in all these criminal activities? Let me bring in Mr. Conway, man. See, let me hear you on this thing, this statement from Tamish Jagmohan, not Tamish Jagmohan, sorry, Junior Bashforce, and of course, the denial by Tamish and Sana. Let me hear your views, man. Because you did statement analysis too, like me.
Paul, this thing calls for international investigations. Statement, then you have a state of, people gone in the 54th state, a state of denial. Persons not who expect to respond, not responding. And then here is this Bash, sir, because of a serious state of mind. Was he going crazy? Or what was the purpose of coming out with a statement? Was the motive? Why a statement like that? And then later on attempting to backtrack. He said he had no business transaction with the mother of the president. Did he have other interaction with her on a personal level or otherwise? There are so many questions unanswered. More questions than answers. Friends fall out. There's the whole thing. Friends fall out. Mouth open, story jump out. And Bash can be considered. Well, I know we could consider it credible because he's saying one thing, and then after respond by other people, he changing his story, and he blaming it on the serious state of mind. His serious state of mind, and we talk about when it was taped, when it was revealed, when the apology was made. How come he apologizing to the president's wife when the information was that that he get from Sona? He had no personal knowledge of it, and as you say, hearsay, inadmissible hearsay. Yes, we get hearsays on hearsay admissible, but this doesn't fall under the admissibility of hearsay. This is inadmissible hearsay. Raw hearsay to the highest extent. But as I said before, it calls for a proper, a thorough investigation. Not the investigation like the Joab Maple Leaf that came from Canada and said the police did all they had to do and they did excellent work and all kind of thing, and said that they get equipment to search a swimming pool and said I have trained people to search a swimming pool. So if persons are gonna come, they gotta be persons of integrity, not persons that they pay for come and give you the results that you desire. But the bottom line is that they need to have proper investigation. Means that nobody's guilty. It is just allegations, but we need to investigate the allegations inside out.
Yeah, and you know the student, we got some sharp students say he made a mistake and said the president's wife. So they're correcting you to say, now you know I want to correct. He didn't mean the president's wife. Apologies, Madam First Lady. He was saying just like how Junior Bash apologized for Sona. I'm apologizing for CC and gonna apologize yourself. Apologies to the First Lady is not the First Lady he meant
Yeah,
the president's mother.
yeah. Let me apologize profusely. The president's mother and not the president's wife.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Kind of sitting back, you know, just sitting back. And somebody reminding me too, because some of the things that the man said. The man claimed that we talk about Junior Bash. He said that Sona told him that he has to live good with Vikram Bharat because Vikram Bharat will be the next president. That is what, man, look, students, y'all listen to this thing, you know. Y'all listen to this tape in its entirety. Sit down, cock up your foot, get your cokes and your popcorn, right? If you, like me, sip a little syrup and listen to this damning allegations against the president and ministers of the government and others, right? Now, you know, I love my students. We ask them to talk about Dr. Bob. Yeah, share, man. We ain't done yet. Even if we have to go over a little, share. They talk about Dr. Bob, and people are asking, who is Dr. Bob? Now, it is being said here, somebody sent me an article to say, a Kaichor News article with a Dr. Bob Ramnath. He's supposed to be, what is it? New Amsterdam Hospital has started a transition from the old analog system of issuing films for x-rays to digital x-rays. The hospital's chief executive officer, the CEO, Dr. Bob Ramnath, said on Thursday, and there's a picture, CEO of New Amsterdam Hospital, Dr. Bob Ramnath, a newsroom photo. I don't know if it's the same person, but they send this. Called the Dr. Bob, because when Unibash made the recording, he said Dr. Bob in charge of the closed area, right? And then he had to pay $2 million for his letters. $2 million for a letter for get to walk them area, right? So he's saying, I don't know, they got a name here, Dr. Bob. I don't know if it's the same post he's referring to, Dr. Bob Ramnath, right? Dr. Bob Ramnath. Now let me go back and analyze a little further. The man talk about Prem Narayan. Prem Narayan at the time would have been, what was this rank? He would have been an inspector in 2020. He was stationed in Region Division 3, Lenore, I think he was, stationed there. This man is saying that Prem Narayan used to use his bulletproof vehicle to drive the chairperson of the GCOM around. There is a tape circulating when they had this big furrow at the GCOM office where they said they tried to break into the chairman's office. The tape, you would see in the tape, Prem Narayan was there, right? Arafat Kwalanda was there. The president was there, and others, they were there at the time. And I remember well because at that time, Prem Narayan was stationed, as I said, West Demerara. And he was reported absent from duty. When he was to be working at West Demerara, the man found himself at Ashmin building with the political figures demonstrating and trying to get into the chairman's office. And of course, what happens thereafter? The man was rewarded. The man did a triple jump. The man moved from inspector to superintendent, unheard of in the history of the Ghana Police Force. Even now, when they're promoting willy-nilly and Wild West, you don't get them 3 jumps. Well, they might have had in recent times, but until then, never had that. Man moved from inspector, a man with little or no qualification. They got no degree, as far as I know. They got no degree. They got nothing that stands out for him to get promoted from inspector to superintendent. Then he's promoted from superintendent to senior superintendent. He's now in charge of special branch. His name called in this thing. His name called. They're rewarding indiscipline and bad conduct, downright criminal behavior. They're rewarding too. So do we understand? That imam called Premnarai name, and I remember well, because Premnarai was reported to the commission as being absent from duty during that time. And the man there, the driving bulletproof. And you know, the question was asked of me, what are the requirements for someone to get bulletproof vehicle? Can we hear it now? Because Junior Boss said he has to. He said Thomas Jagmon has, but Thomas Jagmon didn't use his own during the PPP campaign and all that everything. Thomas Jagmon asked Junior Boss to lend them his 2 bulletproof vehicles. So I know back in the day, bulletproof vehicles, you had these people doing cash escorts, those security companies doing cash escorts come out bulletproof vehicle. I know about bulletproof vehicle because in 2005, I was sent to India. Listen to me carefully. In 2005, I was sent to India to visit the company that manufactures the Mahindra. The Mahindra is a armor-pierce, a bulletproof vehicle. I was sent to India with the agent was a guy from Trinidad. We traveled to India to inspect and to recommend the vehicles. We recommended, they bought some, they came. Them things stay and rat out in police, you know. And let me tell you all a story about the Mahindra, I think the Rakshak. When the vehicles came, right? I think it was 2 of them came, or 1. I think 1 came at the time. You had the problem at the back of Buxton during that time, right? And we sent the vehicle there because that vehicle, I maintain that is the acquisition of the Rakshaks, those armor-piercing vehicles, the bulletproof vehicles, that turned the tides in Buxton. Because when they realized it gave the police the courage, because the police knew that they can't be it. And when the thiefmen or the bandits or the terrorists, whatever you want to call them, recognized that the policemen had such a piece of equipment, they used to cut and run. So I went to the company and I brought, I recommend the vehicle came. Angela Johnson was the PS. Clement Roy was the Minister of Home Affairs. So they had a big thing at the back, and I tell them, let the vehicle go, use the vehicle, let the vehicle go at the back there. The vehicle gone down at the back. And the vehicle remained in the back of Buxton and so on. Clement, you remember that? Clement Roy wanted the vehicle to be commissioned. They want photograph and all them type of thing. So he told Green, who was the commissioner, that he wants the vehicle to come so that he can get the opportunity to hand it over formally and to get photographs and so on. Green tell me, I said, which vehicle? I said, the vehicle is not coming out of the operational area. I didn't ordinary, you know. I tell Green, I said, look, let me tell you something. That vehicle is not coming out of there. That vehicle is what giving the policemen confidence and get them to get a handle of the situation. I said, let me make this suggestion to you and Roy. If you all want photo ops, go to the back of the Buxton there and take the pictures right there. Take your journalists and your photographers in there and take your picture down and Buxton back down. That is what I told Green. I know what you tell Roy, but and I'll tell you the vehicle never came out because I insisted that the vehicle coming out. But I want to know, what are the requirements now? Well, I guess Tamish gets security company. I guess Junior Bosch gets security company in the goal. So maybe they are entitled to get bulletproof vehicles. But then we should know what are the requirements for someone to get a bulletproof a vehicle. Can't be here, we understand too, based on the thing that the Mohammeds too had bulletproof vehicles. Let me know. So the man said he loaned the bulletproof vehicles to them, right? Let me tell you again, as I said at the bottom here. In any functioning country, properly functioning country, allegations such as those made by Bush would have caused people to step aside, and a thorough, impartial, and professional investigation would have been launched. There's no question about that. Man making allegation, 26 hours past, and the president never issued no statement as far as I'm aware. DPI, then I got Agile. You know Agile, the ADC, who came out on behalf of the president and he stood up there like Cipriani's statue and he read out things and so on. Said he had come out to deny the president's involvement as alleged by Ibash. They'll come out. I guess by tomorrow, They're going to get Kit Nastimento to come out to write some trash to tell you that this man lie and all of that. The propagandists will go to work. They will go to work. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, forget about this attacking the man, this ad hominem attack. Deal with the allegations that the man make. Forget about the person, whether he's credible or not, should not be of consideration now. You got to look at the allegation and investigate. And as I've said before, nobody in Guyana capable of doing a proper investigation, including me, including Conway, including all. We can't do a proper investigation in this matter. We don't have the resources to do such an investigation. This investigation should be conducted, as we had said, with the Adriana Young's murder, should be conducted by some reputable international organization. Not a dry up maple leaf from Canada. Y'all bring McCushion or what name for Robert Stamp, some shit that the police did. Call the FBI, call the Scotland Yard, call the Royal Canadian Mountain Police, either separately or together. Let them come and conduct the investigation, man. Because the president ought to have have to want to have his name cleared from this serious allegation. Call them, let them come and do the investigation. You know, with the Adriana Young's murder, remember what the U.S. ambassador said? That no request had been made to the U.S. for assistance. And she implied that if a request had been made, it would have been offered. The assistance would have been offered. You're going to go down the same road again? Make the request, man. Make the request. Let me bring in Mr. Conway again, man. CC.
Yeah, Paul. Just coming back to Dr. Bob, and the talking about close area. From my experience as a commander for ENF division interior, that there are certain areas we call open area, where as long as you have a prospecting license, you can go and prospect the area and then put up claims. But then there are certain areas that are closed areas where you can't go and prospect there. You can't do anything there. You have to get permission from the Commission Geology and from the Geology and Mines Commission. And this Dr. Bob had to be associated with the Geology and Mines Commission. I think it's a medical personnel, maybe somebody who employed by the Geology and Mines Commission, either on contract basis and otherwise, to give the permission for you to go and prospect in a closed area. But coming back now to the real meat, is that the investigation we're calling for, a complete investigation involve a whole set of people. The president, they mention, the president's mother, they mention, Prem Narayan, and all others. They need to be contacted. I agree there's allegation. I ain't say they're guilty. I ain't say they commit any offense. I ain't say anybody draw from anybody. All I'm saying, allegations made, and it need to have credible investigation from the president right down. I know that the president can't commit any offense to, according to the Constitution whilst in office. But at least we can get something from him in terms of whether or not the guy saying it's true, whether or not he was contacted, as the case may be. But criminally, I think you could get anything there. But with a proper investigation, I sure person may or may not be implicated. Some may be implicated, some may not be implicated, or sometimes not get implicated too. But again, we're making the point, a proper investigation, not by local people here. Repeating, Scotland Yard, Royal Canadian Mountain Police, the FBI, and those agencies to do the investigation.
Yeah. See, the light one, welcome back, man. We miss you for a few weeks. We miss you. But that report that you're referring to, the Commission of Inquiry report into the alleged plot to assassinate President Grange, I conducted that inquiry. I posted that several times on social media, on my social media page. And many persons have reached out to me and I have sent them copies because I said that anyone who wants a copy of the report, just provide me with your email address, and I will send it to you. I have not changed that. So anyone who wants a copy of that Commission of Inquiry report, send it to me, and I'll send you an email, and I will send it to you. But I'm saying in rounding up this matter, I am saying that this, I mean, we were saying that the most serious allegation ever made against a senior government official was the allegation against Jack Dio. But I think this now rates with that. This rates with that as a very, very serious allegation made against the in which the head of state name is calling. And yes, Mr. Conway is correct. The Constitution grants him immunity from criminal charges and so on. But this is not about criminal charges. They were uncovering what transpired because the Constitution also said he can be removed from office for misconduct and violation of the Constitution misconduct. And if it is that he, as the allegation is taken right, there's misconduct and can be removed. We know we're in a state just 3 weeks away from election, and therefore, but I'm saying we have an opportunity to bypass Article 94 on the 1st of September by voting them out of office. You want to tell me this man had 19 fraud charges when he came into office, and the DPP discontinued them. And based on the allegation, the criminal activities, and again, allegations are continuing. And you want to tell me that you should leave it as that? You want to tell me you should just leave it as that? Any right-thinking person, you tell me the way to deal with that is to just let it slide. I am not involved, so let it slide. Can't be business as usual. This is too serious an allegation. And I'm hoping, and I know that the U.S. and these people are looking, because the U.S. government, I guess only recently they increased the reward for the capture of Maduro to $50 million. And they were always talking about this gold smuggling because it is said that is this gold smuggling that is propping up Maduro in office. And if you have Guyanese businessmen involved in the gold smuggling, in other words, they're involved in propping up Maduro. Because his generals, that is what they said, his generals bring the gold from the refinery to Boa Vista in Brazil, where it is bought by Guyanese. They claim, according to Sana, on behalf of Tamis Jagmohan. So they're providing resources to prop up Maduro's government. They're providing resources. And then you, Tad, the foreign affairs minister, come out with this shit to tell people how the Mohammeds were frequently visiting the U.S., the Venezuelan embassy, and they apply for visa and all sort of crap. And then Pilori Joe come and tell people about they won't even going in a box. Comrade, those are serious things. And I hope that the Americans will look, because it look now, let me understand this thing clearly. It look like everybody sit back and waiting for Uncle Sam to take some type of action. That is what it appears as. Because these things come out, I hear nobody on the platform so far, because I would have thought that such a serious allegation, people would have jumped on it right away. Especially in this silly season, they would have jumped on it and analyzed it as we did. Analyze what are the implications here. But them are going to go to whatever political meeting they get, and they're going to call everybody criminal, but them is not criminal. Tomorrow, you're going to hear the story. You know what it's true? Mighty Juke. I'll tell you all about the song, man. Mighty Juke. Roman Bacchanal. You're going to hear tomorrow. It was a big bacchanal just the other day. With the need and Makume. Big comments the other day. With the need and Makume. I don't want to wait here, so passing straight. A fella pull me and tell me wait. Same time he didn't husband come off the bus. And it's now the Makume start to cuss. You're going to hear cuss tomorrow. With the need and Makume. Let me play this thing here to you all, and then we winding down. We're going to come back to this issue, We're coming back to this. This can't be allowed to go just like that. We can't allow this to go. But before I play that, I want to play y'all this one.
Good. So here we're going to remember the chicken place sure win by.
Mm-hmm.
Last ship on the tomorrow.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Right? And here we are to, when you lash him on now, or you should lash him now, since the story hot, because the story hot, nobody going to sleep on them thing right now in Guyana, right?
Sis, who
But
give you the chicken, please? The doctor man give you the chicken, please.
Philip Baldeo. So put the Philip Baldeo. I tell you this, just trust me advice tonight and tomorrow. That's all I want you to do in the timings, right?
And then in
Put up
this
the
post
chicken,
tonight,
please.
when I put up the post, I'm gonna say, and comment tomorrow, y'all guess who own the other tree land?
Other tree cooperation.
Just guess who owned the other tree corporation and
You're just waiting. You're just waiting for the confirmation from your people at register, right? But listen. Pose the chicken place, right? And put Philip Baldeo and Ed Amat. You got everything I do is for Ed, right? Is can you rob me Scott, right? So Philip Baldeo and Ed Amat traded this place to CEO for the land that Edamat got the 30 acre, and apparently, and keep on stating that you have recorded information from Philip Baldeo. You listening? Philip can't do you nothing.
all right, good.
Right? He's a girl. You see cry out today after Travis Percy. You have recorded. There's alleged recorded evidence that Philip Baldeo said that the order came from President Irfan Ali, right? To pass the 30 acre, nobody can take the back. I bet you by tomorrow night, all are gone.
All right, good.
That they want to see it right now. It can't even fuck.
Yes. Well, mouth open story, jump out. Mouth open story, jump out, folks. We get enough more. We gonna keep you abreast with what going on. We gonna keep you abreast, right? We gonna keep you abreast. Now let me play your thing tune again.
And this country got some really stupid people, really.
Yeah, and I got some stupid people, boy. Guyana got some stupid people, boy. That's the anthem when they planning to deploy. A fresh quota right before elections. Smile for the combat, skip the inspections. The road broke up 1 week later, but we still get broke by the same dictator. We stupid, now we just tired. Watching them sell the future, we inspired. Them say we backward, don't know we work, but we watching them budgets swell up like bird. Billions vanish like it take a flight, and all we get is black hat and pothole fright. Work poor, cause I dreams in a vice, but the minister just buy a third paradise. School little children can get lunch for eat, but the house got marble and gold tile suite. Vote buying in play, they got the script. Paint a little cross and do a quick road fix. Development coming, they sing that song, but 5 years done and the pipe still wrong. We ain't stupid, we done woke up. Now we checking receipts and calling bluff. This the year we flip the page, turn that stupid into righteous rage. They think we stupid, cause we humble and poor, but we've been taking notes since 94. We see who get land, new family rich, who get contracts and who get ditch. They laugh at we hustle, call we names while them deep in suit and running games. But tell me, who really looking dumb when the people rise and beat that drum? We got eyes wide open, ears to the ground. Truth like fire, it can't stay down, belly empty. But the mindful fed this revolution, cooking homemade bread. Wobble the road and take the praise. Them say one broke it in 7 days. Who said we stupid, blind and slow, but we they counting every dollar them blow. Who build the road and take the praise? Them say one broke it in 7 days. Who said we stupid, blind and slow, but we they counting every dollar them blow. Who get rich off duty free perks while we punishing and hustling work like clerks? Who said the system fair and clean? Them bribe the judge behind the screen. So tell me now, we stupid still? Nah man, we sharp and ready for the kill. What we voting with this time round? Brains, backbone and boots on the boy. But you're mistaking silence for joy. We quiet, but we fed up to the max. This time we voting with receipts and facts. We done with crumbs, done with tricks. We know who mash up the country bricks by bricks. Y'all laugh now, but listen clear. The stupid people taking back the chair.
Management. I said, we're going out with the cameras. There's a female washroom here. There's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come and if you're going to use the pool, closed circuit television cameras were active at the Doubleday Hotel. During the time 11-year-old Adriana Young went missing, according to Dr. Dexter Todd, the attorney representing the child's family. And as you can see, you see the pool here, clear.
Yeah, folks, yeah, Adriana Young. But we must always remember that. And they say we're stupid. Let me show them that we're not stupid. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his closing remarks, and then I got 2 more tape to play for y'all, but let CC give his closing remarks for. CC, go ahead.
All right. They're opening a lot of regional hospitals, health centers, or they call them polyclinic about the place. But politics coming into play. They recently opened a regional hospital in region number 5, West Borbis. And you know I'm a West Borbisian to the bone. The allegations are that the diabetic or foot clinic has not been relocated from the old hospital to the new hospital. Excuse me. So what has been happening is that persons will go to the old hospital, they see the doctor, and then if they got to get treatment, they got to go to the new hospital. Vice versa, or some who don't know, go to the new hospital, only be told that, hey, this clinic isn't there, it's at the old hospital. And understand the reason, the allegation that why this is happening is that the doctor there is not seen as a PPP supporter and has refused to be engaged in political activities. So they keep her at the old hospital. They have not relocated that clinic to the new hospital. So the members of the public are being inconvenienced. Turn up at the new hospital, the clinic isn't there. You gotta go to the old hospital. Or when you go to the old hospital, you're treated, but you gotta go to the new hospital for treatment. And air sanctions in the air, and I understand quite a number of senior police officers have closed their bank account. Now the bank call them, they decided that they're going to close their account because they feel that they might be sanctioned. So they take out all the money from the bank, just like what Brutus driver did, clean up the account, over $50 million. And when they moved down, the investigator moved down, there was no money in the bank. But they got to remember that there's paper trail, and they can move from paper trail. And that's all I want to say for a while.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Now, folks, as I said, look, y'all got to see this one too. I ain't going to miss out this.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter. It's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society. We all lose when corruption is rampant. Those who participate in corruption have chosen evil over good, lies over truth, and personal gain over well-being of all. To be corrupt means to be rotten. When meat is corrupt, it's rotten, and it stinks. Rotten meat can't be eaten. When a person is corrupt, he's rotten and unfit for a place in the community. A corrupt person should be jailed in order to protect society from the vile deeds of the corrupt person. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified, intimidated, marginalized, and ridiculed. These kind of people who stand up against corruption will often feel alone, as if they are the problem instead of the solution. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it.
And I hope you all decide to do something about it on the 1st of September. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it. You will get an opportunity, all of us, to do something about it on the 1st of September. Folks, we had a long morning. Those of you who want the Cash App and Zelle and MMG, the numbers are there. Those of you who want to make a contribution to the upkeep of this program, please feel free to do so. And no, Raul and others, I will not leave without giving you your therapy. I will not do so.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
I must always remember that. Always, that is the allegation. For that interview, on the cover arrangement, that lady, Isabella Young, won a global award, Best Undercover Investigation Award She won. She won that. And let me you talk about also other problem in the road, pig run across the road, and the quarantine illness, not illness, is somewhere the illness, I think it is skill, caused a guy to ride into it. He died. Look at this man, look at skills.
Stolen. Watch where you scar talent. Watch where you scar talent. Yeah. Haji. We knock somebody car.
It is not a real place, but Guyana can never ever be a real place so the guy left thing that are going. It cannot be a real place. Folks, we've had a long morning. We have a very interesting morning. We had record numbers in the school, schoolyard and in the classroom. I never take that for granted. I want to thank you for viewing this channel. I want to thank you for contributing to the popularity, the increasing popularity of this channel. And as I said, God is not a real place. Things happening, especially in this silly season, things happening. People have suggested that with the recent bombshell revelation, all sort of things can happen. All sort of bad things are likely to happen. So be careful. Be extremely careful. Be extremely cautious. If God spare our lives, we're going to be back here Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. We have so much to tell you. You know, more promotion came out yesterday, hundreds and hundreds of promotion in the Guyana police force. We got to analyze it too. As we have said repeatedly, this is not about the ranks who were promoted. Many of them would have deserved the promotion. We are talking about a failed system. We're talking about a failed system. So over the past week or so, 2 weeks or so, we have had in the Guyana police force maybe almost 3,000 promotions. Somebody said, no, like you get constables, you get corporal and sergeant, and they're walking the beat just now. Fixed point duties at ministers' homes and so on. That is what you are likely to have very shortly. And that cannot contribute to the development of an organization. They're looking to buy vote. They're desperate. Because the joint services will go to the poll on the 22nd, I think it is. They go before the general public. On the 22nd, they're supposed to go. So this is all designed for them to buy vote. That is what they're out for, buy vote, promote thousands and thousands of policemen just move from corporal and lance corporal and think corporal to inspector, from constable to sergeant, jumping people who are your supervisors. How can that be progress? How can that be progress? And people have said that a lot of the people who got promoted in February when they had this big set of promotion, some of them ain't get paid yet. Some of them get paid because we told you that you're supposed to have a fixed establishment. And funds are released based on your establishment. And when you're going to decide over the night, you get a vision. And therefore, you're going to unlawfully and unconstitutionally order promotions to be made. You must run into problems. Down the road, they say what's sweet a goat mouth and sour in the bam bam. That's exactly what happened. So that we're going to celebrate now because they can't see the problems down the road. They can't see the problems down the road. So, folks, we have a lot to talk about. A lot more to talk about. And I'm sure that between now and Friday, more things are going to happen. And we're going to bring it to you as it happens. We have so many things that we have left back. Walmart called up this morning. Man said he's going to protest, he's going to petition because we must come every day in the week, 5 days a week. We must come 5 days a week with this program as well. We have other things to do, folks. We have other things to do. We sacrifice our time. And not only to come here and to bring the information to you, but we got to do proper research. As you have recognized, we do research to bring these things to your attention. So, folks, stay well. Until we meet again, God's Pay Life on Friday at 4 o'clock. Be safe. Stay well. Bye.